Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly reading. So today within this weekly reading, I'm going to include the theme of Venus going direct in Leo. The reason I'm doing this is originally I was just going to do just one big video for the Venus going direct theme. But I thought as I'm doing weeklies, in order to sort of narrow down, refine, make the messages more specific, it makes sense for me to do it in the individual sign readings. So Venus is a planet that's associated with pleasure and abundance. Leo does have similar themes to Venus. It's about creativity, romance, fun, being in the spotlight, having the courage to take risks. So within this this Venus going direct theme, we might be looking at things like course correction for where we've been holding back regarding our emotional fulfillment. So let's get into it. The boxes you can see here are from the oracle decks I'm going to be using today. Let's start by getting the tarot cards out for you for the weekly reading. So what do we need to know as a main focal point for Sagittarius for this week? And when I say week, it will be sort of 7 days from the day that the video is published on YouTube. So what's the main focal point for Sagittarius for this week? Let's see what comes out for you, Sagittarius. We have got Knight of Swords and Knight of Pentacles kind of wanted to come out, but you might have an urgent message to tell someone, or someone has something urgent to tell you, but I'm not going to take that because it wasn't a certain sort of fall. Let's focus. Let me focus. So Sagittarius, what do we need to know for you for the week? Right, so we have the Hierophant again. Oh my lord, the Hierophant has been in all the monthlies. He's been in a lot of the readings for the weeklies, the other weeklies that I've done as well. This looks like someone's afraid of the Hierophant, to be honest. Let's get your energy in this. What is your energy in this? So, God, you've got a lot. You've got the Six of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the Ace of Pentacles. Wow. You might be leaving something behind that was quite restrictive to pursue your own path and your own identity. This is a common theme as well. And I know with Sagittarius, well, the Sagittarius that I know, they are quite free thinkers. They really want to think for themselves. So that Hierophant energy to me is kind of like an opposition. I mean, you've got wands here. I can't remember what this represents astrologically. I wouldn't be surprised if Sagittarius was a part of it, but yeah, let's get some more. Let's get any external energies that are influencing things for you. That Lovers card was on the bottom of the deck. It was on the bottom of the deck when just as I was about to start, and I did have a feeling it would come back out. So that's external energy. So that could be a person, a situation. I mean, clearly there's something about the past here. It could be a past love or just something that you loved in the past. Let's also get you, just bear with me, I'm being a bit picky about how I set things up. Let's get your advice. So your advice is the King of Swords and the Ten of Swords. And I'm not sure which order they were in. I feel like it was more like that. So here I would either say that you are potentially, and this is a running theme as well, setting a boundary and putting an end to, that's how it feels. It does feel like you may be setting a boundary and putting something to an end, or something could have ended and it's made you stronger somehow and more assertive. But let's see. So let's get your oracle cards. So I'm going to use the Unicorns deck first of all. That was very fast. We've got Metamorphosis. These are such beautiful cards. I feel like somebody else got that. I can't remember who it was. One of the first readings I did, it could have been Leo, I'm not sure. Let's get you a Whispers of Love card as well. The word freeing is coming to mind a lot. So it's like, are you freeing yourself from someone or something? Okay, I was going to say they're being complicated coming out, but wow, forgiveness. You've got forgiveness. You also have patience. And I don't know where I'm going to put this one. Rest and relaxation is essential. I'm trying to think. Someone else had. Did I see something about... I feel like I saw romance. The romance card fly out. But I guess not. It was probably the forgiveness card. I must be imagining things. Let me try and get everything on the table. Because you've got a lot today. I think what we'll have to do is... put that there. I feel like the forgiveness card and the have patience card do go together. Is there something here about family requiring forgiveness in family? Because the Hierophant can be it can be tradition, it can be a spiritual teacher, it can be traditions relating to culture, family, just society in general. Let's have a look at this book first, Metamorphosis, and see what the message is here for this card. So not a butterfly, Metamorphosis. So that's number 24. So the transformation message says, will a caterpillar always be but a caterpillar? Milling through weeds and leaves on her belly and tiny little legs, crawling and wishing and dreaming of scaling ever higher heights. See, that's freeing yourself, isn't it? Munch, munch, munch. She eats, she spins, she waits. Then she hatches into a new day. A winged marvel of Mother Nature, playing and twirling in the wind. The metamorphosis is complete and a new life begins. And in this, there is more than beauty. There is more than just the power of change. There is a butterfly, unicorn, and miracle of every day. The meditation message says, join the butterfly unicorn as you take flight through many changes and seasons, always laughing, always growing, always soaring to new heights. What does she say to you about the power of transformation? The affirmation says, I am changing, I am growing, I am transforming. I take flight. The action message says, plant a butterfly garden, or perhaps just place a simple butterfly-friendly plant on your windowsill. Enjoy the thrill of watching the butterfly unicorn appear in your garden. The wings of change are upon you. So from this, right, so in some of the decks with the King of Swords, this is your advice anyway. You sometimes get, you do sometimes, oh, actually there is, I was going to say some of the decks you get butterflies, there are butterflies here. Are you having to transform into this King of Swords? Someone who's, the boundary thing is coming up. Someone who's more assertive, who knows what they want, who stands their ground, because this can be about standing your ground as well. And I would say this is who you're standing your ground against. But yeah, the butterfly card, it makes me feel there's a strong reference to this King of Swords. Is it a case of being sort of, I don't think the exact word is fearful, but having to be quite defensive? Maybe there is a little, fear doesn't feel like the right word, but I can't think of another word at this point in time. There's something here where something is either imposing or restrictive to you, and you've had to protect, there's a need to protect yourself from it or stand up to it or something. I mean, you've got the forgiveness card. Nothing is gained by holding on to past disappointments. This here, moving away, suggests that there's been some disappointment that you're moving away from. Have patience. Love is patient and kind always. And you get rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take a break. This can, to me, sometimes it looks like going on holiday. You're just generally moving away to something more peaceful or moving on to something more peaceful. And obviously there's a Ten of Swords here where something needs to end. So it would have been something quite painful or difficult to deal with. In terms of forgiveness and have patience here, I mean, sometimes it can be about forgiving yourself and being patient with yourself. That Hierophant energy feels like someone else that there may be a need to forgive and have patience, and that forgiveness, it may be more, it could be, say if it was family, you may not want to cut ties with those family members, but it's a case of needing to forgive and be patient with them. And that doesn't mean you walk all over them. There's still that King of Swords there where you need to have boundaries. But it's just maybe if the relationship is one where you still want to have a relationship, it's just you have to, it has to metamorphose, is it? I think is the right word. The relationship itself has to change, and maybe that change comes about from your boundaries, possibly. But instead of me chatting constantly, let's see if we can get some clarification on that Hierophant and Nine of Wands. And it may not be family. It could be a relationship. I'm only saying family more because it's to do with the Hierophant. I mean, the Lovers for me isn't just romantic relationships. It's whoever you have a strong connection with, or whatever you have a strong connection with, whether that is a parent, a child, a best friend, a sibling. It could be that you have a strong connection to your path, your spiritual path, your career path, whatever. But let's see what comes out for the Hierophant. Okay, High Priestess. I feel like, without even getting into it too much, maybe your intuition has told you for a very long time that something isn't quite right here. Like, say if it was family, for example, your intuition's told you that the way you're being treated isn't right, but maybe you've just felt obligated in a sense to do whatever you've got to do to maintain the relationship and the bond. Let's get more for that Hierophant and the Nine of Wands. Right, so I feel like it's this first, Nine of Wands. So Nine of Wands again. Your intuition may have been sort of telling you, or you may have been asking yourself, why am I always defending myself here? The Four of Swords, that is a card of rest and relaxation. You get the Page of Pentacles as well, which can be about planting a new seed or going off on a new path, making plans to go off on a new path. Let's see what else comes out. You have the disappointment, Five of Cups. You would be wanting to go on a new path and gain some peace because of disappointments, and as I say, that could be family, friends, siblings, whoever. It could be a relationship as well. If it's a relationship, I would say it's probably a committed one. So it could potentially be a marriage or just a long-term committed relationship. This could even be about religion as well. Maybe you were raised in a certain religion and you've questioned it. You've always questioned it. But we know that especially when you've been brought up in certain religions, strict ones in particular, you're not allowed to question anything, are you? I mean, maybe that's what that represents, is that you're not allowed to question it. But maybe it's something you've outgrown now. Your mind has expanded and it's like, well, this doesn't make sense to me. I have my own beliefs. I mean, that would be that Page of Wands down here. You may have your own beliefs and just not, this just doesn't feel right to you anymore. And you want to move away from it and start again. I mean, that in terms of religion, maybe that's what needs to be forgiven, and where there needs to be patience. And it's not to say you let people get away with treating you like crap. Maybe the patience, again, I said, is for yourself in terms of you transforming, changing as well. And I suppose have patience is understanding as well, isn't it? Understanding why people... It's not that you have to analyse the shit out of them and know every single thing about what they're doing and why they do it. But if you can kind of get where they're coming from, that's a form of kind of understanding. Like if you had parents that were brought up in a really strict religious background and they treat you a certain way, even if that's badly, it's not to say that you have to dismiss the way they've treated you and make excuses and say, oh, well, they grew up that way, so that's why they do it. No, it's not that. It's just about sort of saying, okay, they may have treated me like shit when I was growing up. I get that's why they've done that and I forgive them, but it's not forgive them as in that means they get a free pass and they've gotten away with it or anything, but you forgive them for your own peace of mind, because you get why they've done that. And if you want to, if that was the situation and you felt you wanted to confront them and get things off your chest, etc. I mean, again, you've got the King of Swords under here. You're well within your rights to do that. But I think getting why people, or kind of getting the gist of why something's happened, or even asking for answers, that sometimes that does help. Not all the time, but it does help sometimes. So yeah, there's a lot coming in from that. So basically the gist of this, of the focal point, is there's something here that may have been imposing or restrictive to you, and you've kind of felt that you've probably had to defend yourself about it, or that you're not allowed to question it, but you're changing, you're transforming. That's what I'm getting from that message. God, that was long, wasn't it? This is probably going to be a slightly longer message than I expected, but there you go. Right, let's look at your energy. Same thing I was just saying. It's like you're moving on to something more peaceful, rest and relaxation. You want to go off on your own path and start anew is the term that's come into mind. Six of Swords, it just feels like all of these cards together: forgiveness, have patience, rest and relaxation. That's what that Six of Swords feels like, all of the above here, to be honest with you. Let's clarify that. I don't know if I need to, but this is your energy. So you're kind of like moving on. That would be the Devil. You may have some fears about moving on, or it may be a struggle to move on. Maybe there are literal restrictions. I couldn't tell you what those are. You will know. But there may be literal restrictions or just mental. Maybe something is still holding you back a little bit. Or let's see what else comes out. So we have Temperance and the Seven of Pentacles. Right, that Temperance card for me, it feels like peace of mind. Moving on, this is probably what you're moving on from, actually, this Devil energy, this restrictive energy, this tempting energy that always wants to draw you back in. Emotional blackmail is coming to mind. I don't know if anybody's experienced emotional blackmail, but that's something that's a term that's coming to my head looking at that. Let's get another one next to that Seven of Pentacles. You may have said to yourself, it's just not worth it. Especially if there's emotional blackmail or codependency or whatever involved. You may have gotten to a point where you just want peace of mind and you're like, that, not worth it. Not doing it anymore. I'm going to invest my time and energy somewhere else. And yeah, it's putting something to an end that's been quite painful. Let's get one more for that. But that's a pretty straightforward message. Here we go. It's an ambiguous card, so I'm going to have to get one more with the Two of Pentacles. Although I haven't, too many now. Yeah, I'm going to put those back. That's far too many. I have an idea with that Two of Pentacles. That may be, it's juggling. It's either where you're seeking balance and harmony, or it's juggling. You know, like if you're in a codependent situation, or there's a situation where you're manipulated, or there's emotional blackmail or emotional abuse. It's juggling. It's trying to keep your head. I know it's not literally trying to keep your head above water, but trying to keep your head above water. It's also almost like managing somebody else's behavior, maybe. Just trying to constantly manage things. You're the one trying to constantly keep the balance, but now you want to find the balance for yourself instead of for someone else. Yeah, that's for me, the Eight of Wands recently this week has felt like being overwhelmed. So it could be, say if you had a parent who was ill or disabled. Okay, this is going to sound awful now. Let's say ill. I don't want to bring disability into it because it's just going to sound like I'm being mean towards someone who's disabled. But say if you had a parent who was ill, so they were quite dependent on you to take care of them, but they were quite a mean, nasty person, to put it bluntly. And they're being more dependent on you that they need to be. Say there were things that person could do to improve their health, to be more independent, but instead they'd rather have you running around like a blue ass fly looking after them. And then they've got a nasty attitude to top it off as well. That's you sort of running around being overwhelmed, trying to balance it all and manage it all. And I'm not saying this is your literal situation. I mean, it could be. Feel free to leave comments to let me know, but that's just an example I'm giving here. Or if you were a parent to an adult child, but they're still living in your house. And I actually don't think there's anything wrong with adult children living at home. It just depends on if that adult child is acting like an adult, or if they're still acting like a child. If they pay the bills, do the housework, make meals, etc., like they're contributing to the household as an adult, fair enough. It's when that person is behaving like a child, where they want the parent to do everything for them, they're financially dependent on the parent, when they could look after themselves perfectly well. That's when, for me, it becomes a problem. But yeah, that's just you moving on to something more peaceful. It looks like you may be overwhelmed, and it's like, no, I've had enough of this. So let's look at the Six of Cups and the Lover. So this, I would say, it's someone, it could be a situation, but I feel like it's more likely a person from your past. and it's someone that you have or had a strong connection with. Could even be a partner, you know, when people have lazy partners, whether it's a man or a woman, that just don't want to do anything. They don't want to get a job. They don't want to take care of the house. They don't want to do anything. And then the other person's constantly doing everything for them. So 6 of Cups and the Lovers. What was that? Hangman almost wanted to come out. We have. So I feel like the King of Wands was first, followed by the Fool. This is the external energy. Okay, right. I feel like I know what this is. This may not be another person, actually. Yeah, this isn't another person. I still feel like that Hierophant is someone else. This 6 of Cups and the Lovers is, I mean, that's a major card. The Lovers is a major card in the tarot, major arcana. I feel like this is an energy around you that is kind of, and it could be that Venus, it is probably that Venus going direct and the retrograde as well, where you've reconsidered the past, or the past has come up for you. It's kind of been, I don't want to say forced, but you've been kind of pushed to review the past. And it may be now where you may be considering how past connections have affected you and restricted you, and now you want to move away from that. Or it could be just now that you've reviewed the past and your focus is now with that Lovers card on the things that you really love and want to connect to, and having the sort of taking the lead with that, taking a risk, contemplating what your dreams are, what foundations you want to lay, and becoming very, very clear on the how you want to move forward. So the 6 of Cups would represent the past, and is probably more likely that Hierophant energy and all that stressful shit that was up here and down there and here as well, in the clarifiers here, like that Devil energy. And then the Lovers card is probably more likely the energy of you now trying to connect with the things that you love and the things that make you feel good. And what's on the bottom of the deck? 5 of Pentacles. It's like moving away from the things that left you feeling like you're out in the cold. So I'd say I'd say this is the energy of the planetary alignment, to be honest. The Venus Leo energy that's kind of pushing you to move on. So let's look at that King of Swords and 10 of Swords. That's your advice. So I'd say again, boundaries, assertiveness, knowing what you want. The world is going into a new cycle, successfully completing an old cycle, going into a new cycle. 6 of Wands is success. That can be putting yourself in the spotlight or into the picture as well, so that you have opportunities. And if you are someone who's been in a situation where someone has taken advantage of you, it would be about finally moving towards environments and people where you are respected and valued. The Star, that would be your hopes and dreams. Maybe this is what you're hoping for and you're working towards it. Well, you are moving towards something, so I would say you're probably working towards that as well. And then we have, yeah, you in general, you are working towards and moving towards your own, so I'm getting freedom, sense of freedom, and towards your own dreams and your own sense of satisfaction and being valued. You've probably had to be very strong through whatever you've been through, the brave. You've probably been very brave, and you're continuing to be brave by moving forward. Maybe it takes bravery and strength to leave the past behind. So in summary, your advice would be to know what you want. I'd say put your needs first and focus as well. Let what needs to die. That sounds awful, but that's what's coming to mind with that 10 of Swords. Whatever needs to die, let it die. And just be very focused in what you're doing and how you're moving forward. And you need a break. It feels like you need a break. Whether that break means a literal holiday, doing nothing for a little bit. Sometimes a break is focusing on the things that we love, isn't it? And enjoying the things that we love. But as I say, you've got forgiveness and have patience here. So whether that's for yourself, being forgiving and patient towards yourself or someone else, in whatever capacity that means, that may be a part of it as well. So that is your reading. That is probably the longest one for the weeklies, but that's the messages needed to come out, so it's fine. Feel free to leave your comments and let me know if it resonates or how it resonates. Yep, so until the next reading, take care.